Hi, I'm Jordan Thorne. I'm the editorial content manager here at FEI TV. We're here at the Boston Innovation Festival, and I'm joined here today by Chris Varley. He is with the External Science and Technology programs at Goodyear. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So I wanted to start off by asking you, not all ideas turned into products and services are considered an innovation. From your perspective, what makes something truly innovative, and how should people approach innovation to provide maximum value to customers and their respective markets?
That's a great question. I like that. You're right. The franchise operation, sustaining improvements to products, that has to go on. Yeah. But usually when people are thinking about innovation, that's not what they're thinking about. And for me, a true innovation is something that is a non-obvious solution. If it were obvious, somebody else would have already done it. Yep. To a problem, and that problem doesn't necessarily even have to be a real problem. A lot of them are just perceived problems. That once it takes hold in the marketplace, it not only becomes obvious, it becomes the new standard. Yeah. And it's that interplay with the market. It's not enough just to invent something. It's not enough just to put something out in the market. You have to have a conversation with the market. And when the market says, I really like this, tweak that, do that, it evolves, and that's when it becomes the innovation. So the market responding and saying, wow, I get it. Not only do I get it, this is now the standard. It's so obvious. Well, wasn't it always around?
Yeah.
You can think of Steve Jobs with the iPhone. People who made phones didn't think that a screen without any keys would be successful. Now you think, well, what do I need keys for?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, very interesting. And are there any game-changing innovations that you're aware of in development or currently on the market that you could see pushing this industry forward?
So we look, rather than specific products, we really look at major trends and how they're going to impact our business.
Yeah.
And right now there are 4 major trends. We have an acronym called FACE. So fleets, autonomous vehicles, connected, and electric. Those are the trends that are occurring right now. They're going to have the greatest impact on our industry.
Okay.
We know a lot about fleets in mining and truck service, but there are changing models of ownership, and what happens when consumers no longer buy cars and cars are now parts of fleets. With autonomous vehicles, you don't have the same level of a person taking a look at the vehicle and noticing that the tire is flat. Yeah. So we have to think about what that means. Connected means a lot to us, and I can expand on that later, but connected opens up a whole new world of things for us. And then electric has had a radical impact already on our industry, because in a conventional combustion engine vehicle, only 20% of the power makes it to the wheel. In an electric vehicle, 100% to the wheel. So the torque is incredible, and a conventionally designed tire, the tread can't handle that. So we've had to reformulate things for electric. Then you also have to deal with the noise issues. Noise is completely different with an electric vehicle than it is with a combustion vehicle. So there are lots of opportunities, lots of trends that are emerging, and we're looking and playing what if among those trends.
Really, really interesting. And so you mentioned that you have to really kind of take a look at a lot of the external factors, trends that are happening in the industry. And I imagine you need really creative and innovative people in the company sort of taking on those challenges to think differently. How do you foster creative and innovative thinking within your organization? And what are some of the ways that ideas are shared and implemented?
Okay, sure. So it's a culture where we really encourage people to say what if. I like to say we're kind of our organization is where the rubber meets the blue sky. Yep. Our core product is a tire, but it's part of an ecosystem. So what if it could do this? What if it could do that? And I think it's important not to lose sight of the fact that as a company, Goodyear has always been innovative. There are only a few tires that are on the moon, and they all say Goodyear on them.
Wow.
And we've looked and we've played what if with that. We've said, okay, well, what are the terrestrial applications? What could we do with that technology on Earth? We have groups who look at what a conventional tire is made of and said, well, what if we could make it be more sustainable? What if we could replace some of the petroleum oils with, say, soy oils? And we've been able to do that. We actually released a tire this year, or beginning of this year, that has soy oils instead of petroleum oils in the tread compound. And now we're saying, okay, well, what if we could do it in other parts of the tire?
Yeah.
So,
really interesting. So in your organizations, do you have teams that are dedicated, let's say, to sort of existing models, means, products? And are there ones that you sort of have delegated to kind of thinking out the box and creating new things?
So yes, we have people who are dedicated, engineers who are dedicated to existing product lines, focused on making those product lines better. Then we have sort of a twin team approach to new things. So we have a new ventures group that is looking at new business models, new ways of doing business. And then we have the external science group, which is looking outside of the company, sort of an open innovation group, and seeing what is happening outside that we could bring in, what's new and different.
So you mentioned a bit about your teams, and I'd love to know if you think that leaders have a responsibility to tackle gender diversity issues within their organizations. How do you think the innovation industry specifically might benefit from greater diversity?
Well, it's critical. It's mission critical. You can't be trying to figure out new ways of doing things for large markets without having a diversity of opinions and a diversity of views.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled with the approach that Goodyear takes to diversity. We have support groups for various minorities, but for me, what's even more important is when I'm walking around in the halls, I'll hear different conversations in different languages and just totally different ways of dressing and acting. And one of my favorites is an organization called HERO, which is helping educate regarding orientation.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
You wouldn't necessarily think that a 120-year-old old line manufacturing company based in the Midwest would be on the vanguard of LGBTQ issues, and yet we are.
Wow.
And it's a joy to be walking around with a hugely diverse group of people and know that we're getting all kinds of different perspectives.
Sounds like an incredible organization to work for.
It is.
To finish, so what do you think that your industry will look like in the next 10 years?
So I go back to FACE. These are the trends that are hitting us. And in particular, I think the connected piece is the one that's going to have the greatest impact. If you think about it, on your vehicle, the only connection between you and the road are 4 tiny contact patches on your tire. And for the longest time, that's really been the only connection that we focused on. But now we're thinking, there's a lot more we can do. So we still have the core business being about tires, but we're also looking beyond tires. And we're not talking about brakes and suspension systems, but we're talking about what can we do with the data that's being thrown off and the connectivity that's being allowed to enhance the offer and the value of the product. So that connection to the road is critically important, but do we have the ability now to communicate information to the vehicle about the road? Do we have the ability to communicate information about the health of the tire to the vehicle? Can the tire somehow communicate with the infrastructure in a way that is able to help other vehicles figure out where they should be and what they should be? There's a problem called the black ice problem. So if you're driving on a road and you hit black ice, you know when you hit it because your wheels are spinning.
Yeah.
Well, imagine if you could have that information when that occurs be cascaded up into the cloud and back to other vehicles who now know that when they get to this point, this is dangerous, you got to slow down.
Oh, wow.
And then we look at connections even beyond and into our market. So we need to have better connections into our wholesalers. That'll give us better connections into the dealers. As we're collecting all this data, we're able to have more informed processes and offers that we can make. Then through our dealers to the end users. So in trucking fleets today, we have something called proactive solutions, where we offer the ability for us to communicate directly to the driver or to the dispatcher what's happening on the vehicle.
Okay.
And say, hey, we've detected a problem.
Yeah.
It's not serious. Next time the vehicle's in, check it out. But we also have the ability to say, no, this is a serious problem. You're 2.5 miles away from our nearest service center, and Bay 3 is waiting for you. Now, eventually those things should be able to move down into consumer services and consumer offers. And we've also now integrated the we're trying to work on changing the purchase process, because purchasing tires doesn't happen that often, once every 4 years.
Yep.
You usually, when you go through the process, you kind of feel like, wow, this is really? Do I?
Yeah.
Am I being ripped off?
Yep.
So with all the connections that we're able to build now, we can have a more direct line to the consumer and help them really understand what they need and when they need it. You can even purchase the tires online, and then you can select the time and the place, the store of your choice, the Goodyear store of your choice, and have it set up so it's painless. We've also, if you can't get to a store, we have a mobile van that we're launching.
Wow.
So it can come to you and take care of you. So the connection piece is where I see the greatest opportunity for us to do things beyond tires.
So it seems like it's about sort of data and really trying to make things easier and simpler, and kind of, again, that connection.
As painless as possible.
Yeah.
Painless
Do you think that it might fall as well into extending the life of a tire? So
Yes. Low pressure is the thing that hurts the tire the most. And so if we're able to either have a system that will automatically maintain the pressure of in the tire, or alerts you, that little light on the dashboard, by the time that thing comes on, technically I would consider that to be a flat tire.
Oh, wow, okay.
So if we can have a communication that enables people to know, or just to take care of it for them, then that just makes it a better experience all the way around. Improves the fuel economy, improves the life of the tire. In the end, we all benefit.
Everyone uses cars, so it's definitely something that will impact everyone.
Exactly.
And to finish off, do you do anything in your daily life to ensure that your growth and development continues as a leader?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the single most important thing is to get out of the building. If I just went to my office and sat behind my desk and listened to the people in the office, then I would have a very narrow understanding of what was going on. So I try to get out of the office as much as possible. I read any and everything I get my hands on. It doesn't have to be related to my industry. I come to places like this, talk to people, just anything I can do. Working with startups, I mentor startups in the TechStars program, other programs I'll work with as well, just to get an idea of what's happening out there, what trends are coming up. If it's not something that will directly fit into my industry, I still am willing to help and try to get them over to somebody who can, because in the long run, that's going to benefit me. Someone else will come back and go, oh, this guy, you should go see him.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's really been great speaking with you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.